Let's get going. I'm going to record this. Welcome to our Tuesday night call, guys. I'm super excited. Sorry, I will be muted soon, and those notifications will be off. Actually, I won't be muted because I'm okay. I'll just try to keep clicking out of them. Super excited to have Brittni, one of our own, as our guest speaker tonight. Brittni has been killing it. So Brittni I'll actually just let you tell your story, Brittni, when we dive into it. But I want to just preface this with, guys, yes, Brittni's a new coach. She's doing amazing in her first month, but this call isn't meant to make anyone who's a new coach be like, oh, I didn't have that success in my first month, or I'm not that successful yet. No, I want to preface that by saying I am 2 years in and I'm not halfway to where I thought I would be with my success. We all have different things, and the quote that I love to go back to, I think I posted this in the team page a while ago, but I should bring it back up, is Josh gave me an example once of, I forget, it's hanging in my office, but it's like skill plus effort equals something, and then something else equals something. And it's basically like, we have to put forth the effort, but we also have to learn the skills. So just as an example, Bridget, who's on this call and who's also doing amazing this month as a new coach, is just learning social media and technology as she goes through this process. Now she's doing amazing, but that's a skill she has to learn. And she's told me that she's like, I know nothing about technology, but I'm learning as I go. But that's a skill Brittni already had as she was started. And we can go through all of that in every sort of skill. Whereas it may be confidence, some it may be social media, some it may be reaching out and talking to people. We all have different skills when we start and through our whole journey. But then the point of it is we have the training, we have everything you guys need, but then it's skill times effort or something like that. I'll look up what I'm talking about, but no, it's okay. It's hanging up in there somewhere. But all these stupid notifications. Ty, if you want to come over and figure these out, that'd be cool. But anyways, so this call is not meant to be like, oh, look at Brittni's success, and do not compare yourself to that. Anytime someone has success, just wait till one pops back up. You can, never mind, sorry. Anytime you see someone else having success on our team, outside of our team, whatever it may be, use that as inspiration. I see other girls being crazy successful too, and I can't use that to compare where I'm at, even if they've been in this less than me or however long. I can't compare, but what I can do is be like, okay, she's making it work, I can make it work. So take all of this today with Brittni's doing amazing. She's following the training and having great success, but take it as, look, I can do that too. I can do what Brittni's doing. But be your own person, obviously. I'm not being like, be like Brittni, but I just want to preface all that by saying, do not use this call to compare. I want you to use this call as inspiration coming from a brand new coach. So I'm really excited to actually feature a brand new coach instead of someone else in the network or someone, because you guys can all extremely relate to Brittni. So Brittni, I want you to just go ahead and dive in, and first just tell us a little bit about yourself. When did you start? And you can start back with in January when you actually started with the programs, and just kind of a quick summary of who you are, how you got started, and where you're at now.
I started with 80-Day Obsession in January, and I was one of those people that signed up literally the day before Emily had the cutoff. So because I kept watching and I was like, oh, I really want to do that, but there's no way I can do that. Or I would just make all these excuses, and then right before the deadline, I think she was going out of town, I was like, no, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to jump all in. So I've only started in January. I did PIO before, maybe 2 years ago, but I didn't have a coach. I didn't follow the meal plan. I just kind of did PIO, and obviously didn't really get any results. I finished the program, which was great. But so I started, but I was signed up only as a discount coach. I had zero intentions of coaching. I just did it for the discount because I knew I'd be reordering the products through the 80 days. I'm currently in LA. I have 2 kids. I'm a full-time student majoring in mathematics, and I'm also a full-time nanny. So I am super busy all the time, which is why I said I didn't want to coach. And Emily's like, oh, you have 20 hours to dedicate to this, I think. And the coach email is like, no, I don't even have 20 hours of sleep. Like, where are you getting this? So, I really had no intentions of doing this. But I just started sharing, I guess, my progress because I was super excited that a program was finally working for me. And people started emailing me, like, or messaging me on Facebook and Instagram. I was like, what are you doing? Like, I need to do this. Like, why? Like, what is happening? So then that's when I kind of reached out to Emily. I was like, I don't know what to do. These people want to do this. And I'm a coach, so I guess I can kind of sign them up. And it kind of took off from there. And it really took off, I think, once I hit phase 2. I'm not sure how many people are doing 80-day obsession, but when I hit phase 2 and I really saw, because I stayed off the scale per Autumn's request, and I did my side-by-side pictures, and I really didn't think it was working. And then I finally like saw everything on phase 2. I like posted it to Facebook, and everyone was messaging me, and I was like, why isn't everyone doing this? Like, everyone should be doing this program. It's working. Like, my husband, just because he is lazy and doesn't cook, I do all the cooking. I pack all of his lunches. So he's kind of like forced into this nutrition. He's lost 25 pounds, like just doing the nutrition. Like, he's not, I mean, he goes to the gym, but he doesn't do like the 80-day workouts or anything like that. And which kind of like makes me jealous, but but I was like, he's lost 25 pounds just doing the meal plan, and like very loosely, may I add. And it's only because I make all of his food. So I'm like, why? Like, I was like, Peter Griffin, like, why aren't we funding this? Like, why is not everybody doing this? So that's when I kind of like just took it and ran with it.
Perfect. I don't remember saying that 20-hour thing at all. So I apologize if I did. But and I did not know that about your husband either. Like, 25 pounds, girl, post about that. That's insane. And it's like because you're making his food, which is hilarious. So you're like, hey, thank me every now and then.
I know.
But what I would love to point out too is, okay, so Brittni didn't start actually coaching until what, like the beginning of this month, maybe very end of February?
Yeah, I was in very end of February. Whenever you did like the announcement for the coach thing, I was like, well, I kind of already have a couple people. Let me see if I can try to shoot for Emerald. And then it just kind of exploded.
Yeah. But what I want to point out too is Brittni was already doing like coach activities, not the reach outs and the inviting and that sort of stuff, but she was sticking to her journey, and she went all in with 80-day obsession. And that's the number one thing we do as coaches is take care of ourselves. So Brittni was following the workouts, following the meal plans, but also posting about it in the process. So it's not like she started coaching out of nowhere. People were already kind of following her journey, so that builds up that trust. So just like we talk about with posting and sticking to the meal plan and sticking to the workouts, she was already doing that for like a month and a half or 2 before her momentum picked up when she actually started inviting people to this. So next question, Brittni, what did you do in your first few days and first like couple weeks of coaching to get your momentum?
I still feel like I'm in that phase, but I really just, I did everything you told me to do. I hopped on every single team call that you had. If you were like, oh, hop on this person's team call, I just went on if I could make the call, I was on it, and I got a lot of good information from them. And I was eating during, I think, 90% of them, but I was there listening. I did the coach training. I think I really liked that, like, you did it every day versus, like, it was very overwhelming to me whenever I did it by myself. But I did the coach training. The lists that you had us make as well, like the dirt list, I don't remember, the dream list, and I think the other one. But that really helped me a lot because I was like, it just made me laugh. Like the dirt list you said is people, like, if you sell dirt, they're going to buy it. Like, they're just gonna go along with you, like your mom and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna do that, because I was very reserved of going like to my mom. But it's turned out great. My mom was doing Weight Watchers, and now she's doing Beachbody, so I kind of sold to her. So I just went through my dirt list, and then I slowly just kind of was just talking to people. starting new conversations. It didn't even have to be about Beachbody, but it just ended up always coming back to like, hey, I'm watching you. That's awesome. What are you doing? And then we'd be like, well, I'm doing another challenge group. So I also decided to set up challenge groups. So I use the app, and I found that a lot of, especially the women, really wanted like a smaller group. Like the team page is great, but it's like 200 people and everybody's doing different things, which is great for information. But I know some people just want like that smaller one-on-one, like I need held accountable like every single day. So I was really nervous about doing that because I was like, what if I only get one person? Then I'm only going to have one person in my challenge group. But I have 6 in my very first challenge group, and my mom is one of them. But it's an 80-day group, so I'm pretty excited. And I also started kind of dwindling, not, instead of just inviting everyone, I kind of made it more like a niche challenge group. So it like went to special people, like moms only, or I'm sure, I don't know if you guys follow me, I'm doing like a veterans active duty group, just so you have more in common with the people that you're in the challenge group with. And that seems to really draw people in because they're like, oh, I fit that. Like I would be in that challenge group versus like just a bunch of people in a challenge group.
I love that. And I think we can all take that advice of, I think sometimes we start as coaches, and I know I did this, and we just want to talk to everyone. We want to help everyone. And we're kind of just like, whoever wants my help, here I am to help. And we have to really think about who we want our target market to be, who our target audience is. So Brittni is going after the people who are just like her, a group of moms, a group of vets, and she has those things in common with them. So straight out, like, I saw some of your Instagram stories, and you straight out call out, like, I'm looking for vets who want to do this, and that's who you're attracting then. So don't be afraid to really speak to the person that you want to talk to. I can post in the team page, someone remind me after this or tomorrow, we got a kind of like a document at Summit last year that goes through questions for you to think of your ideal client, your ideal coach, your ideal target customer. And it's super specific, but it's really cool to do because it's like, all right, what is your ideal person Google searching? What is your ideal person like to watch on TV or movies? And really, when you're filling it out, your ideal person is someone just like you, maybe a couple phases back. So like, my ideal person, I laughed at the Google search thing because I knew what it was. I was like, my ideal person is either searching healthy recipes on Google, or they're searching what to do as a career when I grow up. Because literally as a junior in college, I would Google search that. And like, even though I had a major, had all these career plans, but I still didn't know deep down like what I was meant for. So really think about who your target audience is and then speak to that person, and you can turn those into posts too. You guys may have seen my posts before. I literally talk about when I was a junior in college, I Google searched blah, blah, blah. Like, has anyone else ever felt this way? So I'm talking to that exact person. And yes, you may help people outside of that range too, but the more specific you can get with that, the more you're going to attract your type of people. And I think your groups are going really well, aren't they?
Yeah, because I can relate to them. Like my first group is basically very busy moms that are either single moms or they're students or they have young children. So I know the struggles of going meal prepping through 80-day with children and like with families, which it's not against anyone who doesn't have kids, but it's totally different when you're prepping for a family. And so I feel like they just feel more comfortable coming to me as a coach because they're like, well, how do you cook for your family, or how my newborn was up all night, or it's just way different. And so I do feel like you said, sometimes I'm like, oh, I'd love to invite that person, but they don't fit in that group. But I'm like, well, I'll get them later, or, we'll make it work or something. But I feel like people think it's more personalized versus like a very general thing. And I also tailor the emails. Like I went off of the Google Drive. And so like I use basically like the like chunks of what you have for them, but I've tailored it to each specific challenge group. So like my vets one is called 80-day smoke session because we get smoked in the Army and it's like an inside joke. And depending on the person, I even put like more like, so they know I'm actually talking to them. It's just not like a blank thing. Like, I'll put their wives' name in there, or put like a little comment after something and be like, I know Ashley did this, or something. That way it looks like, you know, I'm not rewriting the whole email, but it's just more tailored to them, or something I called them. That way it feels like I'm personally inviting them.
Exactly. So you're using the resources given, but then adding your personal touch to make it like you. So it's not like you don't have to go in and reinvent the wheel and get all these emails from scratch and not know what to say. You can take the bulk of them, but then tailor it to the person you're talking to, which is exactly right. And I think it's hilarious. I comment on Brittni's stuff sometimes. I love her phrases, and they're like military phrases that I don't know, but she's like, I would tell him to go kick rocks. And I'm like, I love it, but she's talking to her ideal people that way, and I just think they're funny phrases that I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, so let's move on. We kind of answered that question in that one. So what are your tips for newer coaches or coaches that maybe have been doing this for a while but haven't gotten their momentum or their first customers yet? What would your advice be for them?
I guess I reach out to people that, like, I guess Autumn says it all the time, but get comfortable being uncomfortable. I mean, Emily is pushing me out of my comfort zone right now. I think we were on a team call last night, or I don't know, whenever, and they said, like, where you kind of talk yourself out of things, and I guess I used to do that, and I don't let it myself do it before I can, like, think about it. I just hit send, and then I've already sent them the message. And it depends on the person. I have acquaintances with most of the people I've signed up, but I am adding friends and making new friends. I comment on people's pictures, so it's more like the compound effect. I talk to people. I try to talk to them multiple times before obviously it gets brought up. So I've talked to people last week, and I'm just now signing them or something like that. And I talk to them about other things other than 80-day, because right now I'm pushing 80-day. That's just my thing. That's where I'm comfortable at, because I've done that. I haven't really done any other Beachbody programs. So all of the packs I've sold so far are 80-day packs, which I found out is really hard in the other group. Like, no one else can sell them. So I say just reach out to them and just talk to them about other things. If they have kids and you have kids, be like, hey, I know you're a super busy mom. And I always say, like, I'm going to personally reach out to you. Or I've also found that I get more success if I haven't publicly announced the group. So if I say, I am personally inviting you before I publicly announce this to my group, they feel more like honored and special that like I'm running a group on the 16th of April, but I haven't publicly announced it, but I am reaching out to moms already, like being like, hey, I think you'd be great for this. I want you on my team. I haven't announced it yet, but I think you'd be great. And I wanted to give you like first dibs on the spots or something like that. So I think that works great. And I also make it a point to sign everyone up as a discount coach. So I think I got that from Megan. Emily's really good with names. I'm not. I was on one of her calls, and she said, like, every person I've signed up but one is a discount coach. So she basically said, if you're not signing them up as a discount coach, you're just not explaining it right. So I've took that and ran with it. So every single person I've signed up has been a discount coach. So I think that's helped a lot. And I wait until they've agreed to the package, I guess, before I even bring that up, because some of them get very overwhelmed. So I kind of leave that to like, oh, by the way, I'm going to sign you up in one of my discount coach spots. And I also make it sound like it's a spot that not everyone gets. So it seems to work. So I don't know.
Do you want to go into that a little bit more of like, what are you saying to them about the discount? Like what did you take away from Megan's call that stuck with you for how you're explaining that to them?
Yeah, so it was very slow starting off, and when I think the first like 4 people, and I wish I could like go back and do it, I was kind of doing exactly what Megan said not to do, which was, hey, by the way, you can also sign up as a discount coach, and it's $15.99 a month, and you get this off, like 25% off all the products, and basically giving it to them as an option, and like all of this information, like word vomit, and they're like, no, and they see the word coach, and they're just, no, I don't want that. And so, and that made a lot of sense to me. And I was like, well, that makes sense. Like, people are going to see coach, and like, I didn't even want to do this journey at all. I'm not ready to coach, even though you've explained it in all the terms and everything. So now I just am like, hey, by the way, don't freak out when you see your thing. I'm enrolling you in one of my discount coach spots, so you can get 25% off on all the products. And for my vets, their $15 fee is waived, so that one's a sealed deal. For the civilians, I'm speaking Army, for the civilians, I just say, I'm like, well, it's $15 a month, but if you reorder, I would say it's $15 a month. And then if they come back and be like, well, $15 a month, but like, I don't want to spend that. And I'm like, well, you're buying the Shakeology every month, so it really pays for itself. And then most of them still have the Recover and the Energize. So on top of that, like, they're saving money right off the bat.
So I think almost all of your people, I don't know the exact amount, gets that pack with Shakeology, BOD, Energize, and Recover. So what are you saying to them for them to get that like middle of the line package? And I love that package. Like, I wish everyone would get it, because the Energize is going to help them with their motivation to work out. The Recover is going to help them recover from their workout and not be super sore and want to keep going. And it's freaking delicious. And like, it's kind of proven in psychology, like when you reward yourself with something after your workout, you're more likely to stick to it. So that chocolate drink is like a reward. Now, I don't go through that whole spiel with people. Maybe I should start. But what are you saying that most of your people are getting that deluxe challenge pack?
Yeah, I think all of mine except one have gotten the deluxe, except the one girl, and she ended up ordering it like a week after. So I actually did not get my challenge pack until like 3 weeks into 80-Day Obsession. So that actually has helped me to my advantage with the women, because I can attest to the fact that I was super sore during 80-Day Obsession without the Recover, and we're moms, so I market the caffeine right away for the children. I mean, we need all the energy we can get. So I basically just give my personal experience for like the mothers. Like, I am a mom. I can't be sore. I pick up kids. I'm a nanny. I wake up. We're running around all day. Like, we need the extra caffeine. And so I make that my case. For the men, I actually use my husband for this one. So he has his own protein shake, which is basically what Recover is. And they are over 300 calories. And then he has a different thing that is a BCCA. So he's got like all this different stuff. And actually, when you do the research, the Recover is all of it in one, and it's like 130 calories. So for the men, when I'm at my 80-day smoke session, I took out Emily's like explanation of the Recover. I've left the link for like if they want to see more, but I say all of that it includes their BCCAs or BCAAs, their glycosamine, I think it is, and then that it's 130 calories compared to the 300 to 500 that they're probably drinking. So if they need like weight loss, then that's it. And all my Army people are all about pre-workout, so that one just is safe to say.
That's super interesting. If you don't mind, after this call or tomorrow, post what you say there, because that's super interesting that we could all use about comparing it to other recovery drinks for people who do already use them. So I think that's really good. And I loved your tip. I'm taking away stuff on your call. I loved your tip about when you're inviting them, like 2 weeks before the challenge group, before you technically announce the challenge group. Yeah. So it is like, you are considering them first and reaching out to them. And then that way too, I get some questions sometimes about, well, how should I invite to a challenge group that's like 2 or 3 weeks away still? Like, I don't feel ready to invite to it. But I love that method, because then it's like, look, you're being invited before I even announce it. Yeah. And then getting them signed up so they're ready for that start date. And it is more special for them. And like, you're reaching out to them, and it gives that like exclusivity of it. So I really loved that tip. I'm gonna start doing it too. All right, I'm going to have one last question, but then I want to leave like 10 minutes for Q&A, because I think we could really do some good Q&A with Brittni. But just to wrap up our section of it, how have you been impacted since starting coaching? I know when you first got started, we talked, and I was like, well, since you're kind of starting now, like, she reached out to me and it was just like, hey, I think someone wants to do this and I guess I'm a coach, like, do I sell this to them or like what? And so we had a call and I explained it and stuff. And I was like, do you want to start coaching? Like, do you just want to do this one? Like, it's really up to you. And when she wanted to start coaching, I was like, so what are your goals? And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think your first goal is just to pay for your own Shakeology in your first month, which is still this month. And you've definitely exceeded that. So tell us how you've been impacted, like both financial, team, confidence, stepping out of your comfort zone, etc. And then say the financial impact you've had with your kids too, because I absolutely love your hockey story. So go ahead and share how you've been impacted, even just in 1 month, in a couple weeks.
Yeah. So March is my first like full month of coaching, which has blown my mind. But it's impacted us. I mean, financially, I was able to sign up my boys. I have 2 boys that love hockey, which is like the most expensive sport in the world, if no one's ever told you that. But it's just too expensive, and we live in California, so it's just jacked. So it costs a lot of money. But one of my goals of, like Emily said, in the team coaching was to like set a goal. And I was like, well, I'd really love to put my boys back in hockey, which we couldn't do because it just was too much. But I ended up putting them in hockey. I've made close to $1,000 this month, which is just, and that's not even including Derek, which I realized because I have been running my husband's account, and that's not even like including what I've done on his side, which I also recommend doing that, which I also learned from Megan. I waited until I got my first coach, and then I added my husband. That way I could make sure that's what got me to Emerald. But it's really helped me confidence-wise. I love helping people. I mean, I'm a mom, so I guess that's what I do. But I really love helping people, and I love 80-Day Obsession, and it's really helped me boost my confidence and just reach out to people I probably would have never reached out to before. And it's only been 3 weeks, so.
I love it. And Brittni is like pretty much 3 total coaches away from Diamond. So she's super close to her next goal, which I think too, it's been a lot of, you've had belief in it. You had belief in the program because you stuck to it. You had belief in yourself then, and then you got that first momentum, which gave you the belief, I can do this, and then you kind of just ran with it. But I also want to say too, I mean, we have to throw in the income disclaimer of Beachbody doesn't guarantee any level of success.
Sorry.
But no, I can do it. But Brittni has also put in the hard work. So just real quick, I mean, I see you posting every day. I see you on Instagram stories every day. You've stepped out of your comfort zone a ton, which we have to do as coaches. Like, I pretty much was like, hey, Brittni, you want to host the team call next week? Like, you don't really have a choice. But that's what you do as a mentor. You push people out of their comfort zone. Clearly, if she said no, I would have allowed that. But I was like, you're doing this. But you've done videos on Facebook. You did a live video on Facebook, I'm pretty sure. But you've really stepped out of your comfort zone. So you've definitely put in the work, and you deserve the success you're having. And I'm very, very proud of you. How many new conversations and invites are you doing per day, just to give everyone else an idea of what you're doing?
So my schedule's kind of weird, and I know like we do the daily vitals, but I really do, like, I know we do power hours every day, but I do like a power Monday. Like literally all day Monday, I am just starting like as many conversations as I can, which has kind of been working for me. So I'll start like 20, 30 conversations, and then through the week on my power hours, I'm following up with those people or continuing those conversations, even about different things and like their kids or whatnot. And then usually by the following week, they're ready to go and sign up or something like that. Now, obviously, I haven't signed up that many people, but it usually grows into 5 to 10 decently strong conversations that will grow into something. So I do start probably the amount of conversations that you need throughout the week if you would contact 5 to 10 people, but I know I won't have the time to do that. But if I see that people are messaging me from my Monday, like, hey girls, or hey, I'm starting this, or how are you? I see that you posted this. I'll do like 20 to 30 of those. And then throughout the week, when I'm in my car at carpool or something, I'm responding to all these people. So
love it. Fitting it in how it works in your schedule, but still getting the amount of stuff done to get the results. So I want to open it up for any Q&A now. Does anyone want to unmute yourselves and ask Brittni some questions?
I have a question just in general that I actually just wrote to our Diamond group, but might be helpful for others. When you sign up a spouse or a parent or something as one of your 2+1s or 1+2s, as someone, as a coach underneath you, but as like a parent or spouse or whatever, does it affect their income?
If I can answer this, if they earn, like, do you mean for taxes?
Yeah, like if I were to sign my mom up, would it affect her taxes?
Only it has to be over. I look up the exact amount, but it's over like $500 or $600. And like, so when I have my dad or my mom signed up and she's only an Emerald and I had 2 people under her, she's made like $80 or something. So they don't get tax stuff for that. But if it gets to a point where it's over like 500 or 600, then it does. So for me, I did have my dad over that amount this year, so he got a tax form. Like, they'll know. They'll have to get the tax form. I did my dad file it, and then I just paid him for whatever he owed on it.
that's what I told my mom. I haven't worked my mom's account yet because I wanted to make sure I got Derek to Emerald first. And I may have an actual coach that wants to coach, so I'm not even going to deal with my mom. But I told my mom if when tax comes, she can just send me the form and I'll pay her the money.
Yeah, it has to be over. I think it's either 400 or 600.
600. Yeah, because my mom, I just like ripped off the Band-Aid and asked her, but she's like, well, let me talk to your dad. And I was like, oh, because they're like, because of their income level, like if they make any more, then it ends up like being really harmful to them. And I don't want, because she's like would be doing me a favor, and I don't want that to negatively impact her.
Yeah, I would say don't build her account up that much then, but even just getting her to Emerald it's not going to get her the $600, but it would help you there. Yeah, good question though. Tax is so fun.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Brittni, guys?
I have one.
Go ahead.
Because I'm in phase 2 of 80-day obsession, I'm trying to figure out this whole challenge group thing. So I could set up a challenge group even though I'm in phase 2 of 80-day and do it for phase 1, or bring in people for they would have to start in phase 1.
Yes, so that's what I did. I waited until my first challenge group actually just started a week ago, but I was recruiting for it like 2 weeks. So I actually timed it, so I hit phase 3. So I hit phase 3, they started phase 1. I'm in the group with Autumn, so I think that really helped my like confidence level. She's always constantly talking, and I feel like I had a really good handle on things. Like, you know, as far as your meal prepping, it gets way easier once you get into phase 2. So, but yeah, I started running, like I said, my first group once I hit phase 3. But as long as you've gone through phase 1, you just have to be one step ahead of them. And Carl even got on the 80-day group, and he was like, you need to be coaching now, like use the memo I'm losing my word. Use it use it now. Like everyone, it's crazy, like everyone's using it now, so get in there and try to get your group started while you're doing it too. And I've told them, like, they know I'm still in phase 3. I'm on a different day than them, but I still post in their group every day, and I know where they're at. So
okay, so when you went to invite them to that group, how did you do that? Just say, I'm currently doing 80-day obsession and I would like to invite you in to do this program too. How did you get them? I think my issue is a lot of them don't want to purchase it. They want to do the free on-demand trial first.
So I really pushed the challenge group and I think that's how I had the success, because when I didn't have the challenge group, I wasn't getting anyone. And I really pushed the challenge group, and I'm like, hey, I'm doing a group of moms only. Then you'll be in with other moms. You can share, our journey together. We all know the struggles of being a mom, and just having that one-on-one. And So I think the challenge group, and I never really pointed out until after the challenge group already started that I was still doing 80 day. They knew if they were following, like they know they're following me that I'm doing it, but I never like made it a point to be like, yeah, I'm still doing it. I just kind of, I mean, I guess they saw I was doing it, but they didn't really know anything about the phases or if I was just doing it, or like they didn't really know I hadn't completed it yet. So I wouldn't point that out unless they ask, and then you can be like, yeah, I'm currently doing it, but I've already completed, you know, phase 1, probably phase 2 by the time you get them to the group.
And
Okay, my idea was to grab teachers at this time of year because it's a stressful time of year for all of us. So I was thinking of starting a challenge group with just teachers right now after spring break. So I was just trying to think about a way to get that started.
Yeah, I'd say I'm reaching out to do a bunch of different, you know, teachers only group, you know, how it's difficult to eat during the day, or like point out the struggles that teachers have, and then make it feel, you know, like, hey, I'm getting ready to start it, but I just wanted to reach out and see if you wanted to do it first before I open it up publicly.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Brittni. We are under a minute left, so I know we're going to get kicked off any minute here. But thank you, girls, for jumping on. I'll have this in the page tomorrow, and feel free to ask Brittni any other questions in the team page. Thank you so much, Brittni. You did amazing.